Welcome back to our Kids in the Kitchen. This is our 4th lesson in the Cooking and Nutrition Education series. Last week we learned about protein, which is important in building, maintaining, and repairing tissue in the body. Protein doesn't stay, so we need it every day. Today we will cook, clean, and eat together. We will talk about dairy and how to rethink our drink choices. We will learn how to cook simple and healthy meals. Just like last class, we will also clean up after ourselves and leave the kitchen as we found it. Please feel free to pause the video at any time to think, discuss, or if you just need more time during activities. Think about what you know about dairy. Do you eat dairy on a daily basis? Who had dairy for breakfast today? Does anyone know where dairy comes from? Dairy comes from cows, goats, and sheep. Dairy is a magical food group. It is a good source of protein, like we discussed last class. In addition, when we drink plain, low-fat milk, we benefit from its healthy carbohydrates and healthy fats. It is also a good source of vitamins and minerals, specifically vitamin D and calcium. Now we are going to do an experiment to show the effect of dairy on our bones. I'm going to fill 1 glass with milk, and another with dark soda. Then I'm going to place a calcium tablet in each cup. The calcium tablet represents our bones because our bones are made of calcium. Our bones are also made up of protein. We will revisit our experiment in about 30 minutes. One of the ways that you can rethink your drink and still make it very delicious and tasty is to mix together seltzer water or a flavored water with just a splash of orange juice and add some of your favorite fruits. For best results, let your drink sit for about an hour or 2 so it can really absorb all the juices and flavors from the fruit. Let's look at what we'll be cooking up today. We will be making yogurt parfaits with homemade granola. The first recipe will be for the granola. This recipe serves 9 people, a 1/3 cup per serving. The ingredients we will need are 4 tablespoons honey, 2 tablespoons canola oil, 1/2 teaspoon ground cinnamon, 2 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats, 4 tablespoons of sliced almonds, non-stick cooking spray, and 1/2 cup dried fruit. The cooking materials that we will need are baking sheet, fork or whisk, large bowl, measuring cups, measuring spoons, and a medium bowl. First, I'm going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to take my large bowl and then I'm going to start adding some of my ingredients. So first, I'm going to add the 4 tablespoons of honey. Next, I'm going to add my 2 tablespoons of canola oil. Then I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Then I'm going to use a whisk, or you could use a fork, to mix together these ingredients in the bowl. Now I'm going to mix in 2 cups of oats. And then I'm going to add my 4 tablespoons of sliced almonds. Now that I have all of my ingredients, I'm going to stir everything up until it's well combined. Now that we've mixed together our granola, we're going to spray a baking pan with our non-stick cooking spray. And now I'm going to stir out our granola out of the bowl and onto the baking sheet and spread it out evenly. And then we're going to put this into the oven and bake for about 10 to 15 minutes. You may want to check on it every 5 minutes or so and kind of toss it around and flip it so that it doesn't burn. Once you remove it from the oven, set it aside and let it dry completely. Transfer your cooled granola to a medium-sized bowl. add half a cup of dried fruit of your choosing to the granola once it is completely cooled in your bowl. All right, so now that we have our homemade granola made, we're going to follow the rest of the recipe for our yogurt parfait. You can use about 3 or 4 cups of either fresh or frozen thawed fruit. If you are using fresh fruit, make sure that you clean, peel, and rinse any of your fruit before you start cutting it. And if you're using larger pieces of frozen thawed fruit like strawberries or whatever else you're using, you may want to cut those up into about 1/4 inch thick pieces as well. If I want about 3 or 4 cups, I'm just gonna measure out how much I've cut so far. And I'm gonna set these aside into a bowl. So I have 1 cup, 2 cup, and then I'll use blueberries for the rest of my cups. Now we are ready to assemble our yogurt parfaits. So I'm going to start with 1/4 cup of yogurt. And then I'm going to do 1/4 cup of our fruit mix. And then 2 tablespoons of our granola. And then repeat the process until you've filled your parfait to the top, and make sure that you fill it with the granola on top. Let's check on our experiment. What do you think happened to the calcium tablets in the milk and the soda? The calcium tablet dissolved in the milk. The calcium tablet did not dissolve in the soda. This is because milk supports calcium and soda does not. What did everyone think of today's recipes? What would you do differently if you made this recipe at home? Our recipe included yogurt from the dairy food group. We need 3 servings of dairy each day. How can we get enough servings of dairy each day? In today's activity, we made our own fruit-infused beverage. Think about what else you could do to reduce your intake of sugar from beverages. While planning the healthy choices that you can make from now until our next class, remember, we need 3 servings of dairy each day in order to help our bones grow and keep our teeth strong. Milk, yogurt, and cheese are all dairy products. Dairy is also in other products such as ice cream, which should be eaten less often. Dairy is a good source of calcium and vitamin D. We should limit saturated, unhealthy fat intake by choosing fat-free or low-fat milk. Unsaturated fats are healthier fats and can be found in vegetable oils, fish, and avocados. Lastly, choose drinks that are lower in sugar. Thank you for joining our Kids in the Kitchen class. Next week, we will learn about fueling up with breakfast and do a final course review. Please remember to clean up. I'll see you next time.